Are you an empath, a psychic, or both? Hello, and welcome to Hitchhiker's Guide to Humanity. Today we're talking about empaths, psychics. A lot of empaths do not have a regulated nervous system because a large number of empaths have endured abuse of some sort. A lot of times, I think empaths are built from having really traumatic shit happen to them. And that's not to say that every empath is that way, but if you talk to them, I'm going to bet that most of them have had a traumatic past in some way, something that shaped them, something that caused them to be hypervigilant. And what that hypervigilance does is it dysregulates your nervous system. It causes anxiety, depression, all of the things. I am not a medical professional, so psychics really have to have that two-world type of mentality. There's a world where they're steeped in groundness, in earth-based energy, Gaia, Mother Earth. And then there's this spiritual side that's based in the realms, the other densities that exist in the universe and on Earth. And in order to tap into that, you really do have to regulate your nervous system. This does not mean that every psychic, every spiritual practitioner, whatever, astrologist doesn't have problems or mental illnesses or all of that. Like, that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in order to do this, to tap into that, you had to have regulated your nervous system in some way. I truly believe you can't do it without regulating that. Now, you can get insight, but what it will do is you will interpret it in a certain way that may not be the healthiest version of you. And I'll explain. You can see it. We talked about spiritual psychosis in the last episode. You can see when someone is dysregulated. They are taking every single thing that they get from the energetic realm, and they are believing it 100%, even if it's really wild. You know, I've had people literally drop into my DMs and be like, we're the ones who are going to save the earth. We are the chosen ones. And it would be so easy to believe that, especially if you get insights from the energetic realm, right? Like, oh, I am chosen because I know this bit of information. We all have the ability to do this. That is why it's so important in the nervous system to get in touch with your body, because that allows you to be the conduit for this energy coming in so that you can benefit from it. If not, you will remain in the quote unquote matrix, in the loop of doom is what we'll call it. You will keep repeating those same patterns over and over again and never change. There are people who go their whole lives without this energetic upgrade, and they live decent lives, but they're not good. You want to live a good life, a life that's fulfilling and has joy. We don't want to be in a doom loop. I don't want to be, even though I will say some great humor and art has come out of the doom loop. Let's just, like, some of the best books, songs, all of that comes out of that loop. But you don't have to spend your whole life in it. We can have moments, sparks. Your life is not going to be one big joyful party, but you don't have to let it rule. You don't have to let the doom loop be you. You don't have to identify with it if you don't want to. I don't want to sound like someone who's like, all you have to do is this and then you'll never be a prostagon. Like, that's not my vibe at all. I am on medication for numerous mental illnesses. The bingo card is what I tell my therapist. I have the bingo card of mental illnesses. So there is no shame in getting help. Even psychics could use medication. I can even heal myself in many ways, but I still am grounded enough to know that certain things in my life need certain medications. I'm not perfect. I'm still human. This is the balance of being a good spiritual practitioner, of being a good psychic, of being a good healer, whatever you want to call it. An empath alone is not going to typically have that regulated nervous system until they get help, right? And they may not tap into the energetic realm, the quote unquote downloads that come in, the insight, the intuition, but they can. Everyone's capable of it. But the ones who actually move past just being an empath, which by the way, there's nothing wrong with that, move into this other energy space, have done the work. It's not just about feeling other people's feelings. It's about knowing in a regulated way why that is happening. Now, just because you know why does not mean you get to just tell people why. That is, consent is so important in energetic work, psychic, healing, everything. I'm going to call out the healers on TikTok that automatically start doing Reiki shit. Don't do that. You need those people to give you consent for you to do something like that. I am not a fan of that at all. Consent is so important. It is our boundary as humans to be able to say yes and no to something energetic, something real, something on the earth, something in the spirit realm. And humans have so much power here. We really do. And your body and the energy around you and the energy that comes into your space has to obey you. That is your realm. That is your space. And if you tell something to get out, they will leave. There's nothing to be fearful of when it comes to your energetic realm. Once you believe that you are an infinite being and that death is just a transition into the next phase of whatever's next, and that this is just your energy being pressed into a physical form, your fear kind of starts to dissipate when it comes to, like, if you see something moving or, like something falls off I've had shit happen a lot. Like, stuff falls off and I'll be like, what is it? What do you need? It doesn't scare me anymore if I hear a sound in the middle of the night. Well, most of the time. It depends on what state I'm in. If I'm like dreaming and I wake up and I hit, like, that's different. But like, if I'm just sitting here, I'll be like, oh, all right. What sign are you trying to give me? What are we doing today? And that's the thing. As you regulate your nervous system, you will begin to fear less. And when you fear less, you're more likely to take risks, to be brave, to do the thing that you've always wanted to do, but were scared to do it. And I am still battling this on many fronts. So even when you have your system regulated, it is still a struggle because your human part of you knows that there are other people who can validate or invalidate what you do. But here's the kicker. If you know yourself, you know your soul's inside, you know you're an infinite being, you can bypass that. And this isn't spiritual bypassing. This is bypassing the external validation needed to do what you want to do. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need anyone's accolades if you don't want them. Now, once I regulated my nervous system, it doesn't mean that the art ends. It doesn't mean that it, isn't as effective. It just comes out more regulated. And what's wild is I've been writing this for like 5 years. And before I even started discovering that I was a psychic or that I had energetic abilities, like it was before all of that. And as I wrote that book, and I'm on the third rewrite, as I finished it, I started to discover things about myself. So when we say, spiritual practitioners, whatever, when we say like journaling or like expressing yourself will get you to that next step in your evolution, this is what I mean. The book I'm writing now, also personal, don't get me wrong, I will always be in there, but it is more objective. It is more mature. It is more, there's a lightness to it, right? It doesn't mean that I'm missing that. I'm still an empath no matter what. So I tap into that, but it becomes a mature empath. Until next time, peace and love to you all.